People on Earth like to talk a lot about colonizing Mars, but what if it had already happened and the first humans had already settled down on the red planet? What would life on Mars look like? Would we be able to live on the surface, or have to hide underground from all the solar radiation that Mars gets exposed to? Would we be able to terraform it? This is what if, and here's what would happen. If we lived on Mars, ever felt like getting off this planet? Well, consider Mars' fourth rock from the Sun. It can be as close as 56 million kilometers away. It can also be as far as 401 million kilometers away. Even if you jumped into the fastest spacecraft ever launched from Earth, getting there would take anywhere from 40 days to 9.5 months, depending on the position of the planets. And after all that time spent in space, you'd finally see dry and lifeless Mars on the horizon. Would you be able to survive there? What would you need to survive on Mars anyway? First off, you'd have to figure out how to produce oxygen to breathe. The Martian atmosphere is very thin, and it's 95% carbon dioxide. You wouldn't be able to just bring the oxygen you need to survive, but you could extract it from the carbon dioxide with machines like NASA's MOXIE. Not only would that provide you and other Martian settlers with breathable air, but also supply you with liquid oxygen propellant. That's the stuff you'd need to lift a rocket off Mars in case you decided to return to Earth. There's no fertile soil on Mars to grow food in. Instead, you'd use hydroponics, cultivating your crops in a mineral and nutrient solution. No soil required, of course. Without running water on the surface, your colony would only be able to grow 20% of the food you'd need. The rest of it you'd have shipped in from Earth. But don't expect fresh meat. All your food would come dried. Along with the other settlers, you'd probably live in inflatable pressurized buildings, but it's more likely that you'd go underground because Mars has no global geomagnetic field, and since its atmosphere is so thin, radiation levels in the orbit above Mars are 2.5 times higher than at the International Space Station. That's too much solar radiation. Living on Mars would present challenges, including a smaller sun, extreme cold, the need for a spacesuit to protect from harmful radiation, and low atmospheric pressure. Days on Mars are slightly longer than Earth's, and a year is almost twice as long. Martian climate comes with 7 months of spring, 6 months of summer, a 5-month autumn, and 4 months of harsh winter, with temperatures potentially reaching -153 degrees. Additionally, dust storms could disrupt electronics, and the weaker gravity would require acclimation. Consider these factors before deciding on a move to the red planet. The best course may be to wait for the first human colonies and terraforming of Mars. This includes importing ammonia ice to warm Mars and create an atmosphere from its dry ice. Water will be extracted from Mars ice reserves to thicken the atmosphere. After about 1,000 years, there will be enough oxygen for humans to breathe. The choice then is whether to experience life on Mars or stay on Earth.